Right, the next question was about a local election, and they called the party that got elected the local party. And last year, let's say 2014, they had 5% of the votes, 5.0% of the votes. And in 2015, they only had 4.5% of the votes. And the questions are, what is the percentage points change? And this is what you call procentenheter, percentage points, and B is the percentage change. And it's extremely important to remember that in most cases, this will be very, very, very different answers. Percentage points change is the really, really easy one. It means you take 5% and you take away 4.5% from that. You're only looking at what the points were, okay? So you do 5% minus 4.5% is a half percentage point reduction. Okay? So in terms of percentage points, it was a 0.5% that went down. And you just take the 1% and subtract it from the other. But if you want to know what the percentage change was, that means it's relative to what the original was. What happened in terms of their overall percentage? How much reduction did they get? So the percentage change is going to be our comparison. Percentage change is given by the difference in percent divided by the one that we're comparing it with, times 100 to turn it into percent. This part will give us a decimal number. We want to multiply it by 100 to turn it into percent. So the difference between 5% and 4.5% is going to be 0.5%. 5 minus 4.5 divided it. What's the one we're comparing it? Well, we're looking at how much of a reduction it had. So the 5% is the one that goes on the bottom. So we have 5 on the bottom, and then multiply by 100 to change it into percent. So we have a half divided by 5, which is 0.1, times 100%. So we got a 10% reduction in the number of votes for this party. This party had 5% and then they went to 4.5%, which gives them a 10% reduction in the number of votes compared with how many they'd had previous years. Okay? So understanding the difference between percentage points and percentage is very important and has come up in very many national tests, that there's always a question to see if you understand the difference between percentage points and percentage change, and understanding the formula and the differences between them. Okay, then I think we're finished with percentages. Now we have a question about a computer, which is giving us random numbers between 0 and 999. And then it's asking us a lot of questions with, what's the probability of us getting a 1-digit number? A 2-digit number? And a 3-digit number? The nice thing about this is that if we get the right answer, we would be able to check it because we'd have 100%. Because we can only get either 1-digit numbers or 2-digit numbers or 3-digit numbers from this answer. So the first thing, if to get a 1-digit number, which 1-digit numbers are there? Well, there are 0 to 9, which if you count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 10 numbers. So a 1-digit number, you have the chance of 10 numbers out of the total number of numbers that are possible, 1,000, which is 1/100th. Okay, so you have a chance of 1/100th of that number. If we then start with our first 10-digit number, which would be 10, and our last 2-digit number, Our last two-digit number would be 99. So how many numbers are there between 10 and 99? Would be starting 11, 12, 13, etc., etc. So we would be getting 90 two-digit numbers out of the total number of numbers, which is 1000. So we would have 9 100ths. Okay? 1%, 9%. How many three-digit numbers would we have? Well, our first three-digit number would be 100. And the last three-digit number would be 999. Adding up all the numbers in between there, we would have 900 numbers there, divided by 1000, which would be 90 100ths, or 9/10ths, but I'm keeping it as 90 100ths because I'm keeping everything in terms of percent here, which would be 90%. Have I done everything right? Well, if I add up 1% plus 9% plus 90%, I get 100%. So I've got everything right. So you have like this nice little check here as well. Okay, are you with me here? Yes. There's no other numbers that are possible, are there? So if I've done this right, all of my percentages should add up to be 100. Thing to remember here is that yes, 0 is a number, which means there's one extra number. There's 10 numbers down here. 10 is a number as well, which means there's 90 numbers and not 89. And 100 is a number, so you're going from 100 to 999, giving you 900 numbers there rather than 899. So a little bit of a trick question. Sometimes it's important to make sure you're doing things right by actually thinking. Just write them up. How many numbers do I have here? So up to 9. Oh, there's actually 10 numbers. You think of it as being 9, but it isn't 9 numbers because you have 0 as a number too. So sometimes you should check that.